transmission and identification.
Okay.
During verification, when actually we provided this opportunity to people for them to go and verify their details, which systems were we using? We were using the new system, and therefore we provided opportunity. It was tested, and actually it was working because guys were going there and they are verifying their details. What was remaining was only the results transmission.
Okay.
And this is actually what we tested here. Maybe the stakeholders were not happy with the outcome, but actually we tested it here.
Okay.
And that's why, because of that outcome, we said we are going to give the country another test, and that's what we are prepared.
The reason why, my last question on this, you explained, but I see 44 says, and this is what the court said, notwithstanding, you talked about repealing those sections. So notwithstanding, to me, it's notwithstanding the technology, right? There should be another one. So if you look at this strictly with the law, I mean, it's not even implied, it's explicit. Notwithstanding is explicit. Notwithstanding this, the other one should be there as complementary. So when you insist that you want to associate yourself with that particular section, explain to me why 44A says notwithstanding.
You cannot read the legislation in isolation.
I know that.
Yeah, but again, let's be cautious here, because there's again a matter in the High Court on the same issue. We don't know what the court is going to decide on this matter. That's why we said, as a commission, we shall print the register and have it available and await the outcome of that court decision.
So there's a possibility we'll have both of them, again, depending on this.
When it comes to the court, as I said, we shall implement the court order.
But allow me to address the, because you know it's a very contentious issue.
Yes.
What makes you think that the physical register is not a complementary system? What makes you think it is not? Can I ask you why you think so? When you say we are going to print, it's going to be available and it's going to be the last resort, it is still a complementary. When the technology has failed completely, we are going to use that register. So why are you saying that it is not complementary system?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. My argument is what she said. Azimio is pushing one, and Kenya Kwanza is pushing another one. And it seems the IEBC, because of the foregoing reasons that you have explained, prone to manipulation and all, they are considering only, and the chairman has made this clear, they want only those present at the polling station to vote. Now with the manual one, like a book, you can vote. You can see the people who've not voted, their ID numbers are there, and they can key into the system and vote for them. So that's why you want it out. So I never said myself it's not. But my question is, why is it that there's a contention within this, yet the law, section 44A, is very clear, even based on that code of honor, notwithstanding 39. Which talks about it explicitly also, right? Notwithstanding. So my contention was notwithstanding, and the other one, why do you want technology? Why do you want my computer to be complementary instead of just bringing the manual one?
The manual. Na tunafahamu kwamba sajili itakuwa ni ile sawa. Mnasema kwamba sajili ile kwenye elektroniki ndio itakuwa sawa na ile ambayo itaprintiwa.
Iko sawa kabisa. Sajili iko sawa kabisa. Na kwa nini tunasema tusitumie register na teknolojia kwa wakati mmoja? Kwa sababu ukitumia teknoloji peke yake utakuwa hujui nani ambaye haja kuja kupiga kura. Ni uje ujipresent ndo tuku-identify. Lakini kama mimi kazi yangu hapa ni kumechanically ku-cross, pia naona wale wengine hawaja piga kura, then ina provide opportunity ambao mtu anaweza kuja sasa na ndo tunasema ya kuwa presiding officer, kwa sababu ni temporary official, ni mzuri ya kuwa akifanya ile kazi hajui ni nani ambaye hajakuja. Lakini ukijipresent, ukija na ID yako na vidole vyako, then utakuwa identify.
Kwa hivyo kuna nafasi ama kuna nafasi ya kwamba mwisho wa siku ya kupiga kura huenda ikawa hii sajili ambayo ni imeprintiwa huenda ikawa haitatumika.
Kama mtambo hautaharibika, mimi sioni kwa nini tutumie.
So I want us to make progress, because there are two interventions that are coming from Abubakar and Ken. But before that, this election, because if you recall what happened in 2017, part of the reason there are problems at the Supreme Court is because of the polling stations that could not transmit results from their polling stations. They said that there are several that transmitted from non-gazetted polling stations. Recently, you've told us that you've procured at least 1,111 satellite modems to take care of areas that are affected. Commissioner Gulia here said that you are the sympathy of the mobile network operators. if network does not cooperate on that day, whether by design or by accident, how then are we sure that you're going to receive transmission from all these polling stations at a time that your first trial was 40% successful? Chairman.
Yeah, thank you for that. We have actually been working on that. As you rightly put it, the report from Communication Authority said 1,111 polling centers will not transmit. I and the CEO have actually held meetings with the mobile network operators, all the Safaricom, Telecom, and Airtel, and we are working. There's a technical team working around that. So where there's no 3G, then we shall deploy the satellite devices, which we have for purpose of that transmission. So I think that's, as a commission, we are...
That's fine,
yes.
But the Constitution gives the mandate to IEBC to conduct an election, not mobile network operators. So if the technology does not work on that day, and your satellite modems are just 1,000 and a few hundreds, what then for the other polling stations? Can they transmit results from outside the polling stations?
Well, Marijan, maybe you can comment, but as we have been saying, IBC cannot do the election on its own.
Okay.
We need other stakeholders to come in, and that's why we engage suppliers. Mobile network operators are part of the suppliers. We have contracts with them. And the issue of internet connectivity is not for IBC. They are enablers. Yes. Can do that.
There are questions that are coming.
Can I first of all try to respond?
Yes. Okay. Just let him respond.
What I want you to understand is that this situation of network rollout is not unique to only this country. I don't think there is a country that has got 100% rollout of 3G and 4G. So it is not unique to us. It is something that we envisage to be in many other countries. And therefore, there must be solution where, for example, there is no network. There must be possibility of where actually the presiding officer can actually move to another place and be able to transmit the same. This, what we have done is to ensure that at each and every tallying center, the 290 tallying center at the constituency, they will have actual network. And in addition to that, we are talking about 1,111 centers. Centers, within a center, there are polling stations. A school, for example, is a center. Within that school, there will be several classes which are going to be polling station. If we provide one satellite modem in that specific area, it will provide wireless network to all those classes. And I want to believe that at the end of the day, they should be able to transmit. All those polling stations in that area should be able to transmit. But it is possible that certain areas may still have difficulties in terms of having 3G and 4G. Where that is the case, the presiding officer should actually be able to transmit the same at the tallying center. Well, that to me, I don't see it as an issue.
I thought they were locked to a specific polling station to avoid tampering. So, for example, if I'm voting here, my gadget should not work beyond here. So if I move it to another polling station, or they're not locked, they're open, you can come with it to Nairobi and transmit from here.
Of course, you can. You know, it is. You know what you are talking about is actually geofencing.
Okay.
And geofencing is actually where you lock the device to a specific place.
When I see you now, the good thing is,
you lock it to us.
Are they locked?
Yeah.
My question now summarizes what they are all coming up with. And the question, during a meeting you had with the presidential candidates where both of you were represented by yourselves, you brought in the usage of an SD card.
Yes.
Number one, question one, how safe is this SD card? Can someone make another one from River Road? Number two, now that you have, by admission, said that KMS kit can be moved to another place for transmission, and the question that has been asked by Ken, and another one that has been brought up by Sam Gituku, where there were cases in the other election where ungazetted polling station transmitted results. Are we looking at the possibility of somebody else who has a similar SD card transmitting from the same area, but not the polling station where it has been put in? Number three, you've said that there will be 6 extra kits at a polling station. Do each and every of these come with its own SD card, or an SD card will be removed from one and put to the other in an effort to make sure that there is continuity. And number 4, on the same.
No, can we, you see, you're asking too many questions.
Okay,
let's go one by one.
Still on the SD card.
Go ahead. Because, okay, first of all, SD card is actually encrypted. The information that is inside the SD card is encrypted. It means that even if you get that SD card, it will be useless piece of information. For you to be able to access information that SD card, you need to use the QR code for that polling station for you to actually be able to lock it to that polling station. So even if you are to get that SD card, it is going to be a useless piece of information. You cannot come up with your own SD card from River Road and come and insert it in our kit. It will not work. I wanted also to provide you assurance on the issue of results transmission. You see, you are going to transmit at the polling station, but if there is no network, it will actually display that this result has not been sent. If you are to leave that kit on and you are to move with it as we are going to the tallying center, suppose it were to get the network,
okay,
it will basically transmit it, but it will give you the coordinates, the GPS coordinate of the place where those results were actually transmitted. Now you can even choose to switch it off and switch it on at the tallying center. When you switch it on at the tallying center, of course, there's going to be network. It's going to be able to transmit that results.
So in 2017, the challenge then was a question of polling stations were transmitted from non-gazetted polling stations. How have you secured that, knowing that your regulations were defeated or were thrown out by Parliament?
So first of all, that's why I said you need to appreciate that our country cannot be covered. The telecommunication service provider, MNOs, are actually business entities. They are driven by profit. They will go to places where it makes business sense. They will not go to places where it doesn't make business.
And that is clear.
So it is
no doubt about that.
And therefore, there must be room. And here we are talking about budgetary constraints here, because to buy Thuraya kits, the satellite kits, last time it costed us around 1 billion shillings. We can't be spending 1 billion shillings for temporary.
The specific question I'm asking you.
No, let me finish first of all, because you need to give me time to respond, isn't it?
Yes.
So where it is not possible to transmit because, one, maybe we do not have a Thuraya phone. 2, there is no 3G or 4G. These results must be transmitted at any other point. That is something that we must realize. It has to happen. So the issue of gazetted, a gazetted center or ungazetted centers, I want to believe that maybe at some point, because it even happened. For example, if you look at when we did the by-election for Kibra, we were to do the election at the secondary school, but because of the examination, we had to move the polling center from there to open ground. So, but we had to gazette that. It is possible at that particular time in 2017, maybe at the time whereby we were just near the election, they were actually moved to different place and did not get time to gazette the same. So at that particular time, they were transmitted in those areas. But at this time, we've made arrangements to ensure that all the centers and polling stations are actually gazetted.
Before a point gets lost,
follow up there.
Yes,
the SD card.
Yes, will all the 6 kits?
SD card is just one for that polling station. If a kit malfunctions, we remove the SD card and use it now in another kit, which will be available.
And in the case,
and there may be one other thing, the issue about transmission. The KIMS kit is enabled only to transmit the form 4A that will be filled and signed at the polling. It cannot transmit any other thing other than that form. It cannot transmit any other document other than that form, and it